Welcome into a busy edition of the Believe in Panthers podcast here on Believe Podcast Networks, brought to you by our friends at Fanduel, America's #1 sportsbook. Desmond Watson and the Panthers' all-time leading rusher, Jonathan Stewart, in the house. And lucky for us, some stuff broke right before we decided to go on to record for today. We'll just jump into it. We'll get to the news that's been going on right now. We have our review of the cuts, because we have a final 53-man roster finally with Carolina, so we'll see who they kept, who they didn't, and what the idea, the plan might be. We'll go through all the divisions, NFC and AFC, and instead of doing the what we normally do, where we kind of do wins, losses, or whatever, me and Stewart are just going to sit here and try to pick who's winning this division, who's winning this division, who's winning this division. We're going to get 7 for 7, NFC, AFC, and we'll probably end up with Philly versus Kansas City at the end of all of it anyway, like we have the the past 2 years, I think, on the show. I think we picked Philly versus Kansas City. We'll get to all that, and we'll give you our FanDuel bet of the week here also as well. But Stu, let's just get into it. Wide receiver Adam Thielen traded this morning by the Carolina Panthers. There's been some smoke about this for a couple of days now, and we thought that he might be safe after cuts yesterday, when the Panthers cut fan favorite Hunter Renfrow, but he was not. And looks like Minnesota came back with a deal that General Manager Dan Morgan cannot refuse. According to Adam Schefter, the Panthers receive a 2026 fifth-round pick, a 2027 fourth-round pick. The Vikings get Adam Thielen, a conditional 2026 seventh-round pick, and a 2027 fifth-round pick. So Adam Thielen, 35 years old, still productive, caught 151 passes here and over 1,600 yards, 9 touchdowns in 27 games with the Panthers. Stu, your thoughts on Dan Morgan in the kitchen once again, trading out Adam Thielen, and he's actually got somebody who can slide right back in there.
Man, look, the intentionality behind all of this, they worked this deal to the bone.
They could have did this like 2 days ago. Yeah, they could have literally. They did it.
You know, when you're sitting at your house on Sunday and you eating your lemon pepper wings, and you eat it all the way down to the bone. Okay, that's what Dan Morgan's doing, right? He made these delicious wings, and he is absolutely devouring the opportunity here. Get it right down to the bone.
He did.
Listen, that deal is crucial. A fourth rounder? You telling me we get a fourth and a fifth? Okay, and we just had to give up. I mean, we gave up Thielen. Thielen is a hell of a talent, and I'm super happy for him, because he gets to go back to Minnesota, to where he's from, and be able to basically, decide whether or not he wants to hang it up back home. So it works out for both parties, man. The Minnesota Vikings are obviously in need of some help with some injuries on their side. And Thielen to the rescue, but more importantly, Dan Morgan to the rescue.
Yeah,
Dan Morgan and staff, round of applause.
They are doing their thing. Like
y'all doing your thing.
We talked about it in our. We were texting each other last night. We were kind of talking about it. There's something about this team. I know everybody's worried about them going over in the preseason, and they didn't see the first string enough and all that. But if you take everything into account and you kind of take a macro view of all this, like zoom out a little bit and kind of just see what they've been doing since 2023.
Yeah,
you can't help but be like, as a Panther fan, somewhat optimistic that we're finally turning the ship around the correct way. And for those that are like, oh, a fourth-round pick, that's not really nothing. I just went back to go look to see the past 2 years since Dan Morgan's been GM. Who did he pick with his round 4 pick? 2023, guard Chandler Zavala, NC State, great value pick, still on the team as a lineman. And then 2024, tight end Jatavion Sanders, Texas. Mm-hmm. Drafted him.
Valuable picks.
Yeah, valuable picks, still on the team. I'm trying to see, who did he get? Because this only goes back to 2024. Who did he get this pass in the 4th round? I think it was Lathan Ransom, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was.
It was the defensive end.
Oh,
or no, it wasn't defensive end.
Actually, we might have had more than one. Here, I'm see right now. Because I think we came in there with a lot of mid-round picks this past offseason, and here we go. So this year it was we had 2 4th-rounders, Georgia running back Trevor Etienne.
Yeah, there you go.
And Ohio State safety Lathan Ransom.
There it is.
I mean, both made the
Lathan. Oh, thumper Ransom. Mm-hmm. Hey, listen, we're gonna call Lathan Ransom Thumper Ransom.
Thumper Ransom.
Okay? Thumping people. No matter where you at. Oh, you got 20 yards? Thump.
Thump. I'm coming downhill all day.
Oh, you got 2 yards? Thump. Oh, quarterback sack? Thump.
So if you had any worries about Dan Morgan doing something with a 4th round pick, he has shown he can work with a 4th round pick and find a contributor. So like for him to get a 4th out of Adam Thielen, where Thielen more than likely this is probably his last year playing, and he turned it into a 4th and a 5th like a week before the season starts. Yes, sign me up for that. And then there's the other part of this, which is the cuts. They got down to their initial 53-man roster yesterday. Had to do it by 4:00 according to league rules, and I pulled up who they've kept and everything. We'll get to the wide receiver room in just a bit, but position by position, look, Stu, I'll just run through a few and you can give thoughts. Quarterback, of course, Bryce Young and Andy Dalton. They did cut Jack Plummer. They may bring him back to practice squad or something like that. Running backs, they kept 3, Chuba Hubbard, Rico Dowdle, and Trevor Etienne. They did cut Raheem Blackshear, who I know you were a fan of. It looks like they cut him and gave him a like an injury settlement or something to that effect. So it's like they cut him and got him down to 3. And then the tight ends, Jatavion Sanders, Tommy Trimble, Mitchell Evans, the draft pick this year, and James Mitchell, who had a good camp. And they've kept him due to the fact that Trimble had back surgery recently. Thoughts on those 3 groups right there to start off, Stu? Quarterback room, we kind of knew.
No surprise. Yeah, no surprises for me there. The guys that Trevor Etienne, and Rico Dowdle, those guys, man, those are going to be your kickoff returners, in my opinion. And you can sprinkle in David Moore, you can sprinkle in Jimmy Horn Jr., which they also kept on the roster as far as returners, right? On punt return, kickoff return. I think you're going to see a lot of split duties there. So I think that's the reason why they were comfortable letting Raheem Blackshear go. Obviously, too, he got hurt in that last preseason game. So, those are part of the calls there. Guys go down, and you got to make sure you have a healthy roster as much as possible moving forward. And so this is that point in time, first game of the season coming up on us. Got to have your roster set, and it's got to make sure you have opportunities for guys to be on the field, and not just on the football field on game day, but also practice field, right? You need healthy guys all over the place.
Yeah, and that's been our kind of our Achilles heel the past 2 seasons, where we've gotten banged up and then didn't really have the depth behind whoever the starter was. This is the first year where it feels like they got a little depth at some of these positions. Wide receivers, we've been going back and forth whether or not they'd keep 6. They kept 7. Tedero McMillan, Adam Thielen, Xavier Legette, Jalen Coker, Bryson Tremaine, David Moore, and Jimmy Horn Jr. Of course, Adam Thielen has just been traded, so now that room has been reduced to 6. But I know everyone's asking about Hunter Renfrow, who got cut. He had a strong training camp. The route god, as he's been nicknamed. It's a talented group. I did not expect Bryson Tremaine to make the final cut, but he had a great preseason. And with Renfrow, apparently, since he's a vested veteran, he doesn't have to pass through waivers because there's a couple teams ahead of us on the waiver wire. So somebody could have picked him up if he had to go through there. He can just choose to sign to the practice squad if he chooses to. And I'm sitting there, Stu, thinking about the chain of events from when he got cut yesterday. It is making me, and we'll find out today probably if they're going to re-sign him or something to that effect, because I don't think he's signed with another team or anything like that. He could have already done that, and he hasn't. So it's making me feel like, okay, they might have told him, look, we're still working on a deal with Minnesota. We're going to cut you so we can get to 53, but we're going to trade Adam eventually here in the next 24 to 48 hours. When we do that, that spot that opens up in this wide receiver room is yours, because they did give him like $1 million signing deal when they first brought him in. So it was kind of weird to me that they cut him. He can slot right to the slot position. You kind of upgrade, to be honest. If Winfrow's back fully 100% healthy, he's almost 5 or 6 years younger than Adam Thielen. Yeah. And, so thoughts on the wide receiver room?
Yeah, the receiver room, to me, we're young now, especially that we don't know whether or not Renfrow's coming back or not. I assume that he's coming back because he's a guy that's been in the system for this offseason.
I'm going to check right now. I'm checking right now what I'll do.
Yeah, check right now because it might have already happened. Welcome to the team. Welcome back, Renfrow. But I look back at this offseason, and we have a staff upstairs now that's so intentional, right? They understand ball, they understand what they're trying to achieve, and they brought Renfrow in, and we thought to ourselves back then, like, oh, you have Thielen, and now you got Renfrow, kind of similar guys in the sense of what they could bring to a team. Obviously, Renfrow's younger, was able to take a year or two off and get back into football shape, and he obviously made a statement at practices to the coaching staff and whatnot, because all the hype that we heard from the media, right? All the route running and everything looked exactly the same as it did when he was playing for the Raiders, right? So they didn't lose a step. And, you know, you bring a guy like that in because maybe you have in the back of your mind that Thielen might be one of those guys that is of trade value, right? And with this deep of receiving room, I mean, that's been the talk of all offseason, all training camp, is what are we going to do with that receiving room? And we found out. Thielen got traded. We got some value out of that. And now we're looking at David Moore being the veteran of the group, right? Yeah. You keep him on staff, and obviously Bryce Young's comfortable with him. And you know, T-Mac and the chemistry there, as much hype as we gave that throughout the preseason, when the regular season starts here next week, we're going to see how good that chemistry really is. And if it's anything that we, you know, think it can be, as far as if that was the floor that we saw in the preseason, and we continue to see those guys develop and just, you know, Bryce, you know, finding his trusted guys. I look at Xavier Legette. This is a great opportunity for him to really, you know, take form. I think you look at Coker. He was pretty consistent last year. Yeah. So when we think about, man, Bryce Young lost his safety blanket. In my mind, I think he's been preparing for this moment. I think he's prepared, actually. I don't necessarily think this is something that people need to freak out about, because think about this. You talked about the 2023 roster, right? I'm looking at this roster. I'm going to name off some guys. DJ Chark, Terrace Marshall Jr., Hayden Hurst, Ian Thomas, Jonathan Mingo, Miles Sanders, Laviska Shenault, Amir Smith-Marset, all guys that played here and are gone.
A lot of those guys got cut from the teams they were at yesterday. Yeah. I noticed that too. Yeah,
Adam Thielen. And so you look back to 2023. My man was suffering from the talent that was not around him. And so last year he went through growing pains. He had an off season to have guys that he can actually develop with, that he can trust. Some guys that are of the talent that, you know, I think in my mind pairs and matches up perfectly for him. You got Xavier Legette, explosive horse, right? Yeah, and a force to be reckoned with them hands. And then you got T-Mac, catching radius, you know, to Mars. And then you got Jalen Coker, big body receiver that's gonna make the contested catches, right? And he's gonna be able to be a deep threat, as we can see. That's the seam route that got called back against the Texans.
The one-handed catch,
the Texans, right? Or was it the Browns?
The Browns. Yeah.
The Browns, like stuff like that. They show up in glimpses throughout the preseason. Once we actually get into the regular season and they're starting to roll, and the coaching staff and Canellas is dialing up those plays, man, this is going to be an offense that's going to be really exciting to watch.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, and going back to the Hunter Renfrow thing, our good buddy Skylar Callahan over at Panthers on SI, he literally just dropped this article like 6 minutes ago about the possibility of Renfrow coming back. And people, this isn't like a journeyman. Hunter Renfrow is a wide receiver who's had 100-catch, 1,000-yard season on his resume. Yeah. There's no wide receiver in that room in Carolina that's been able to say that so far. So it's almost too good to be true, really, when you sit there thinking about the situation. Because again, I'm online looking around. Hunter Renfrow's not been picked up by another team. He's not signed with another team. And you would think, it felt like teams were waiting around for final cuts because they realized that the Panthers had more wide receivers than they could keep. And some of these wide receiver hungry teams were kind of waiting to see who they would cut. The fact that no one has signed Hunter Renfrow yet, when he's gotten the biggest media exposure regarding his training camp out of almost everybody in Carolina, that tells me Dan has something going on with Hunter Renfrow. Like, they have told him something. They're going to do something. There'll be some sort of transaction. Maybe by the time this gets placed on Believe's YouTube channel, where I feel very positive Hunter Renfrow is going to go into the team as the other wide receiver. And it'll be situational first couple of weeks anyway. So that's fine. And it does open it up, like you said, for XL, for Tet. It's a little scary because you're dealing with your first couple of wide receivers are very, very young.
Yeah, but Bryce doesn't necessarily, quote unquote, have a go-to anymore, right?
Right.
That's wide receiver saying. One isn't a vet. Okay, that's cool. But we also drafted a guy to be wide receiver one.
Justin Jefferson wasn't a vet always. He was a rookie once upon a time. CD Lamb.
And so these guys that you draft, you develop them. You have a good coaching staff, and that's what you lean on. You lean on that. You let these guys grow, and the only way they can grow is if you put them in a situation to do so. It's dangerous. This feels dangerous to us because we're not in those meeting rooms. We're not in the locker room. We're not on that practice field. But you know what it is? It's exciting. If you're a football fan and you have movement going on like this gives you the excitement that you dream of as far as following your football team and being invested as a fan.
It's provocative. Gets the people going.
Very provocative. Gets the people going. But let's talk about something here, though, right?
What's up?
Because we talked about, I'm going back to that roster, right? There was up until today, there was 10 guys on this current roster from the 2023 roster.
This is 2 years ago.
This is just 2 years ago. Now, guess how many years it takes to rebuild?
In the NFL, I mean, it don't really take very long. Like, we've seen teams get flipped in like 2 years,
Depending on the coaching staff staying firm and the quarterback being selected, it takes about 2 to 3 years. Guess what year we are?
Year 3.
We're year 3, baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe that's why it's different. Yeah.
I look at the Buffalo Bills in 2017, right? They drafted Josh Allen in 2018. Year 1 was rough. It was bad. But guess what? They started getting those things going in year 3. They were a playoff team. And so I'm not saying we Buffalo Bills, we're the Carolina Panthers.
You own one right here because did you watch the Dallas Cowboy documentary on Netflix? Have you watched that yet?
I started a little bit. Oh, it's good. Don't get me started about Jerry Jones right now.
No, we ain't gonna really mess with him today. But no, it's kind of like The Last Dance, but like the 90s Cowboys kind of. It's really well done. And you're right. That the Aikman, Irvin, Emmitt Smith Cowboys of the 90s, it took them about 3 years to get there, because 89 is when they drafted Aikman, and then or Michael Irvin, I should say. 90 they got Aikman, and then 91 they got Emmitt Smith, and they gradually started getting better and better. By the time they got to the 92 season, it was like, let's go. Like, I mean, and nobody people were kind of looking at them, but nobody was like, oh, they're going to be like one of the greatest teams of all time. No one knows that until it actually happens. Nobody knew the Golden State Warriors were going to be the Golden State Warriors until they became the Golden State Warriors. So, like, we can go against fresh.
What we're talking about, Desmond, is we're giving fans a chance to get on this wagon.
Get excited.
We are getting on this wagon. NFL reality check here, okay? Okay. The average Super Bowl roster has about 40% turnover in 3 years. So when a team flips 80% of its roster in 2 years, like the Carolina Panthers, you're not building. You're not in a rebuilding situation.
Oh.
You have already rebooted. And if you're not understanding what's happening in Carolina, you're going to be late to the party.
I feel like we're going to be late. I feel like I know who we're going to pick for the NFC South winner when we get to this in a bit, because I think
you already know what time it is.
We are gassed up on this one right now.
Gas me up. Hype me up.
I'm gonna zoom through some of these. We're gonna stop at a couple of hot spots. The offensive lineman, they kept 9. Not a big surprise. It's the deepest position group on the roster. That's pretty much on purpose. They've run through some injuries over the past couple of years there. Chandler Zavala, who I mentioned, former 4th-round pick for Dan Morgan, is in the cut there. They got Iquanu, Damian Lewis, Austin Corbett, Robert Hunt, and Taylor Moton, who just got an extension last week. We didn't get a chance to talk about that.
Shout out to Moton.
Yeah, 2 years, $44 million, 40 guaranteed. will keep him with the team through 2027. So keeping that right tackle who's been here. I didn't realize Taylor Moton has been here since 2018.
Can we talk about the offensive line right quick?
Yeah. Let's talk about
it. Let me say something. This is going back to my get on the wagon or get off. This is your opportunity. Also, Desmond, you know how hard it is to go into a second season with the same exact offensive line?
I saw it on Blueprint. I watched Blueprint last week with the new one drop, and that's what they were talking about. They were like, "Yeah, it's literally." It was Robert Hunt. He was driving into practice. He's like, "Yeah, man, but it's like the entire line is back, and that's rare. Like I don't think I've ever been on a team where the entire line is back from the year before. That's
huge.
That's huge. Yeah, I don't think people are not talking about that enough because they were good defense. They were a good offensive line last year. Like, how good could they be this year?
They're gonna be real good together.
And
that chemistry is so good too. They just they celebrated somebody's birthday. I saw on Instagram. I don't know who it was, but they was all over there. Right?
The camaraderie is
real. Camaraderie is there.
When you start seeing these players like doing stuff off the field, like together, like because you guys were doing that, where it was fun to hang out with each other. You were hanging out when you didn't have to. Like when they
actually like the guys.
Yeah, I'm friends with them. Wow. Once you start doing that kind of stuff, then it's Sundays are fun, like fun for everybody, for y'all, the players, the fans, everyone. Yeah. Defensive lineman, they kept 6, led by Derek Brown. Of course, I didn't think he was going to get cut. Ashawn Robinson, Tershawn Wharton, Bobby Brown the third, Cam Jackson, who was a 5th round draft pick for Dan Morgan this past draft, and Jaden Crumedy. LeBron Ray is on IR. He can come back after 4 weeks. They kept a couple of those draft picks in Jackson and Crumedy. Outside linebackers, no surprise there, really. Patrick Jones. Well, actually, let's go back to defensive lineman real quick because they did cut Shy Tuttle, which popped up. And we mentioned that yesterday when we were in our text. Did that surprise you, considering who they kept? Because I'm sitting there looking at the people they kept, and Brown and Robinson they weren't going anywhere. Wharton and Bobby Brown the third were free agent pickups, so they weren't going to get cut. And then they kept the 2 rookies over Shy Tuttle. Any surprise there?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I didn't think.
Again, we have a front office right now that understands the process. You got your 4 guys that are vets and in the free agency and whatnot. And you got the 2 young guys. You know what you do with those 2 young guys?
Coach them up.
Coach them up.
Yeah.
Get them ready. You develop.
It makes sense. It just makes sense.
And when somebody does go down, you got some fresh blood.
Yeah.
Go in there. And we'll simplify certain things for you. But just go in there and make a play.
It seems so weird that they're doing stuff that makes logical sense. You know what I mean? Like, that makes
Dan
sense.
Morgan.
Yeah, the 2
Danny Moe.
Yeah. Outside linebackers, they kept 6. Patrick Jones the second, who came over in free agency. DJ Wanham's back. Nick Scorton, Princely. How you say his last name, Stu? Uman
Princely.
Yeah, Uman Malin.
We're gonna spend the whole year figuring out your last name to say it so quick and fast.
Ooh, that's a hard. Thomas Nkoon and DJ Johnson, who according to all reports had a great training camp. He was a 2nd, 3rd round pick we had before this regime that's still on the team. One of the guys that's still on this team. Hopefully he can make that leap. Linebackers, they kept 4. This is the room that I was worried about. Christian Roseboom, Trevin Wallace, Claudin Chirless, and Bam Martin Scott. I think that they're going to make some moves in that room. That's going to be where they pick up some extra help from people that got cut. Now, again, they kind of have this. Now they've traded Thielen. They have a roster spot. Doesn't necessarily mean they're going to give it to Hunter Renfrow. They might use it for something like the linebacker room. But if they used it for anything on defense, I think it would be the linebacker room. Cornerbacks, they kept 5. J.C. Horn, Mike Jackson, Chau Smith-Wade, Corey Thornton, and Caleb Evans, who I assume will be a special teams player, which they need. Corey Thornton is the story of training camp, undrafted out of Louisville.
I got a good feeling about him.
I do too. Like, he showed out all 3 preseason games. He showed out every week in practice. The guys started talking about him in the media. I think he can be a starter. Like, the way he's played and the way he carries himself. He just carries himself like he's just hungry. Like,
and what that does, it gives you flexibility too, right? Like with certain packages, you go nickel, maybe he shows up there or something like that. Him splitting time with what's his name?
Mike Jackson.
Well, Mike Jackson, other nickel.
Chau Smith-Wade.
Yeah. And then the did you go over the safeties yet?
No, it's they kept 4. Trevon Moehrig, Nick Scott, Lathan Ransom, the rookie, and Damani Richardson.
Yeah,
So,
Damani Richardson and Listen, I love those two.
Ransom's gonna be a starter.
Ransom's gonna be that guy.
Like him and Moehrig are gonna be the same.
Him and Moehrig, two guys that will come in the box and just thump guys, right? So
that might be why they don't get another linebacker, because of those types of safeties they have. They kind of are. They kind of like Thomas Davis a little bit, right?
You're okay. You're okay if they go get another linebacker. I ain't mad at that. Yeah. Right. Because I think veteran presence in that room is important. And Christian Roseboom is a trusted guy for that defense. He knows all the plays. It was cool kind of seeing the blueprint and seeing his personality, which is right in line with what I thought it would be, which is, hey, I'm all football.
Yeah, he don't talk. He don't talk about
I'm all football, baby.
Why y'all put a mic on one player that don't talk?
Yeah. So, hey, I'm just here to play football.
Yeah,
I like that.
100 tackle, former 100 tackle season guy, plugging him in, and that maybe I'm worrying too much about the linebacker room. Maybe it ain't gonna matter because of the way they're gonna play, because they've been playing like this kind of nickel kind of thing where you don't have but a couple linebackers out there. So maybe it's not gonna be as big of an issue as I'm thinking in my head, because they do kind of run a 3-4. So you do have the ends kind of standing up. So
the defense, I ain't worried about. If where we were last year is where we were last year, we only going nowhere but up, right?
You can't go down.
Carolina gave up 534 points last year, dead last in the league. You can't win games like that, right? But I think the defense, with Nick Scorton, Princely, you're investing in the future for the pass rush. You got, went into the free agency and got some guys that have been proven to be able to stop the run, right? And you actually watch the preseason. We did that. We did what we expected them to do, which is, hey, last year we gave up a lot of yards in the middle. So what do we do against the Browns? We clogged the middle. Oh, we forgot about the outside, right? So as the games progressed throughout the preseason, you saw the attention to detail and the coaching staff working on those things with the players. So as far as the players and the depth, we are ahead of the game as far as where we were last year.
Yeah.
So
I mean, having Derek Brown back helps too. In the middle, like I think Cleveland realized earlier, hey, we're just running into a brick wall over again. Let's wait for him to get out of the game, and then we'll try this again. And that's kind of what they did. So we'll get to see the first string in action against Jacksonville. Was it September the 9th? I think it's the opening day for Sunday. And we'll get to that there. So we don't have any NFL football this weekend, but it is the start of the college football season. And our friends at Fanduel have you covered in terms of what you should be doing. I'm kind of looking at this. I know your boys, Oregon, are playing. You told me they were playing Minnesota State. Montana State. I'm sorry. They're playing Montana State. The over under is 56.5 on that one. Oregon's favored by 27.5 in that matchup, and they're the 7th ranked team in the country. I'm looking at this this Texas-Ohio State matchup. Texas is the first number 1 team in the country to start off the season to be an underdog in a game. They are underdogs at Ohio State. It's 2.5, but Ohio State's the 3rd ranked team in the country, defending national champion. Texas is loaded. A lot of stuff on Arch Manning. I'm trying to see if I can find like a cool parlay or something in there. You looking at any of these games for FanDuel this week for college football?
Yep.
Let's see.
Let me look at my FanDuel right now.
Yeah, because I'm in here poking around and I'm just like, they got stuff like touchdown scores.
Oh, tell me to update. I don't want to update right now.
TD score prop, passing props, receiving props. The popular one right now, it's a 4-leg same game parlay. Ohio State, it's about the spread. Ohio State first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter to cover the spread, which is -1.5. So basically, if Ohio State basically leads throughout the entire game, you can win the same game parlay. If I'm reading this correctly, it's at plus 2,097, meaning if you wage $10 on this wager, you'll win $209.76. If you believe in I got it. Oh, where's Dion? When I need him.
If anybody wants to if anybody wants some advice, and if I were betting this week, Boise State, South Florida. I'm going South Florida. Bowling Green.
So
I'm going Bowling Green, Lafayette. I'm going Bowling Green. Let's see here. Let's go to Friday. Who play on Friday?
Man,
Illinois. Western Illinois. Take Illinois all the way and do the plus 45. Do under 45. Let me see.
I'm going to use this little 2 seconds to complain about how college football is playing on Friday nights. That should be for high school football. Shame on college football for trying to take away Friday night lights to
about that money, dog. You got to get that money.
It's all about that money. Too. We got up here. We got Duke versus Elon and NC State versus ECU on Thursday night at 7:30. I'm like, man, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm like, come on, man.
Shame. You got to be embarrassed to play on Thursday night, don't you?
It's like, let's just be the first. Let's be the first. So you got all that, but go check out FanDuel. They got a lot of fun bets over there you can check out during college football season. FanDuel's been waiting for this week to happen. Yes, okay, college football is happening. NFL's next week. Boom, let's go. Let's get this thing popping. So definitely go over and check out our friends over at FanDuel for that. Before we get out of here, it's a tradition here at Believe in Panthers where normally we go through the Panthers schedule and we go win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. But that ends up being me and Stu basically picking us to go 15-2 every year, and Skylar basically scolding us for not being realistic. So I wanted to switch it a little bit and just go, let's just do this. Let's just look at each division, not really in depth, but just look at them and be like, who do you think is going to win this division? And we'll write out who we think is going to win the divisions. We'll pick the 3 wild cards for each side. We'll seed them up, and we'll see what we end up with for the Super Bowl. So let's start off in the NFC. Let's start off NFC East. We were just clowning the Cowboys earlier. Jerry Jones has a reputation of getting these top stars signed right before week 1. Well, we're here. If he's going to sign Micah Parsons, it's got to be in the next 7-8 days. Micah Parsons has not practiced all summer. He still won't be able to play. So, I mean,
look, I don't know what's going to happen with Micah Parsons because you're talking to a guy that got sued by the NFL in 1995. And he turned right around and countersued him. A countersuit, the NFL, and won.
He did, and he won.
And basically told them to say, hey, look, I'm a countersuit. I was waiting for this moment, he said. I was waiting for this moment because now I'm about to countersue you. I'm going to accuse you of operating like a illegal cartel, basically.
And he was right. And he was totally right. He was like, as soon as they stepped in it, and he was like, yep, gotcha.
So basically, man, Jerry Jones is the cartel, man. It sounds like
he is. And look, what he told Stephen A. Smith the other week, I got him for 3 years. I got him signed for 3 years. I ain't got to do nothing. The pressure's on Micah. If he wants to play, he can play, but I got him for 3 years, regardless of what he's going to do. Having said that, I've been seeing people pick Dallas as 4th in that conference or in that division. I don't see them finishing 4th. I don't see them finishing behind the Giants. And I don't know. Do you believe in the Redskins? Or, excuse me, the Commanders. Do you believe in the Commanders? From off of what they did last year, do you think they can build on that? Or do you think it was a flash in the pan?
No.
Okay, so
Jaden Daniels like that.
Do you think they can challenge the Eagles?
Yes.
Ooh, okay. So NFC East. So, because I'm assuming it's going to be, I will say the Giants are going to be better than advertised. I do think that. I think they're going to be better. I don't think they're going to be great. I don't think they're a playoff team, but they will be better. They'll be competitive. The Eagles, man, the Eagles may have the best roster in football. Actually, I think they do.
They do have the best.
Yeah. So,
but if there's going to be any team in the East, it's going to be the Commanders.
Do you feel comfortable saying the Commanders win that division?
No, I don't feel comfortable saying that. Saquon Barkley all day, baby. NFC.
Eagles it is. Eagles it is.
You asked me a question. Do I think it could happen? Yeah, it could happen. But it ain't. It ain't. It ain't.
We'll circle back to the Commanders in just a bit. So Eagles in the NFC East, NFC West. The Rams. The Rams, it should be the Rams, but I don't think they have a quarterback.
Man, we back with Purdy and listen, we don't even got to talk about everybody else.
49ers?
Purdy and C-Mac.
All right, 49. If they got a healthy C-Mac all year, because they did not have that last year, I think the 49ers got enough to do. And again, the Rams don't have a quarterback. If they had a quarterback, I'd pick the Rams. Seattle sneaky. Who am I missing in that? Who am I missing in the NFC West? 49ers.
Arizona.
Oh, Arizona. I ain't worried about Arizona. That's why I couldn't remember where they were. So the 49ers, we're going to pick the 49ers and move that on. NFC North. Now, this one's tough because they had
Jameer Gibbs and the Detroit Lions.
Ooh, they were people forget that they were the team to beat in the NFC last year. If I'm not mistaken, they were the 1 seed and got knocked out early. But they were hurt all year. Like their defense was banged up. Aiden Hutchinson only played like 2 games or something before he got hurt. So
yeah, I want everybody that's listening to this. The Detroit Lions are just like the Carolina Panthers, 2019 to 2022.
When you said that, I was thinking Detroit Lions. The track that they've been on, the path they've been on the past couple of years is they're in their. This would be their year 4. Year 3 was last year, I believe, for them.
Yeah.
So it's their year 4. And then the NFC South.
Man, look, it's going to be between Tampa Bay and the Carolina Panthers.
That's what I'm thinking. Atlanta's got an offense. I don't think they got the defense. Tampa's won it the past 3 years.
Listen, Atlanta is torched, man. They torched for good. Ever since that Super Bowl with Patriots. they just going to always have that, creeping around the corner. Okay?
Bad vibes going on.
So, look, it's either Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield, obviously, he's the proven quarterback in the division, right?
Right.
Tampa's chasing a 5th straight division crown. 5th. 5. Okay? And Baker Mayfield has thrown for 8,500 yards in 2 years.
Good gracious.
69 touchdowns.
Gosh.
Okay? Todd Bowles has the most experience of any coach in this division. And if there's going to be anybody that's going to knock them out, okay, it's going to be them Carolina Panthers.
I'm comfortable saying Tampa, but I'm also comfortable saying Carolina is a wild card. I'm kind of comfortable saying Carolina can win the division if everyone's healthy. But to be safe, I'll say Tampa, and then when we get to the wild cards, that's going to be the fun part of the NFC. So,
did you see that story about Desmond Watson?
No.
The 6'5", 450-pound D lineman that they had.
Dude from is it Tampa? Is that who he plays for?
Yeah, for Tampa.
Yeah.
So how you gonna draft a guy and not let him practice?
You're too big.
But how you gonna draft him knowing the situation and say,
he's so big. He's so big.
But listen, Desmond, that don't make no sense.
I know.
I feel bad for him. It's like, oh man, I got drafted.
We drafted because you're huge, but we can't.
And you're huge. But the thing is, it's not realistic. You expected this young man to drop 50 pounds, 75 pounds, and be of good football stature. He's 6'5".
Yeah.
Like, that's not healthy. It's basically saying, hey, yo, look, take Ozempic and lose muscle and not be strong, but lose weight.
450. Like, that's like,
you know what I'm saying? I feel bad for that because, that's not necessarily. You wasted a pick.
Yeah, that's an experiment. That's
if that's what they're doing over there, that's the reason why they can get got.
Yep, agreed. I'm gonna put Tampa in 1 for now, but I'm using a pencil. So and it's got an eraser on it. So if we need to go back, we can do that. Who are your 3 wild cards in the NFC? I think they all came from the NFC North last year. No, 2 of them did. Yeah, 2 of them did last year, if I'm not mistaken. Green Bay. Yeah, Green Bay and Minnesota. Minnesota went 14-3 last year. They lost to Detroit twice and the Rams once.
I will say my wild card would be the New York Giants.
Really? I don't know if I can get down with that. Like, what's your
hey, listen, that defense.
How are you getting to the Giants?
That defensive line. Okay.
Oh.
They got a defensive line that gonna get after these quarterbacks.
They do.
So as long as they can stop the run, they're gonna be all right. And they got 3 quarterbacks that have energy, that have charisma, and they've done it before, right? They've thrown the rock around.
I like Jackson Dart. I actually like Jameis Winston. I wish he could just find a home. Like he feels like he just needs a place to just settle. Well, kind of like Baker Mayfield a couple years ago. He just needs to find the right place and survive from there. But
Jameis is a locker room guy.
Yeah,
that can throw the ball.
You really want to put the Giants in there? I mean, I'm down with whatever. But wait a minute. What about Commanders?
Well, we already said that they was going to be 1.
Oh, okay. So Commanders.
All right, look, we'll do this like
we got one more spot.
We'll do Commanders.
Hold up. Wait, hold up. Hold up. Hold up. You saying the Giants are going to be better than the Packers?
They ain't gonna be better than. It's just about who they playing. Dallas. If they got to play Dallas, Dallas gonna get got.
Ooh. Well, you don't like Dallas.
Yeah, I don't like Dallas.
That sounded personal. I don't know. Don't put your heart in it. Don't do it with emotion.
Listen, this is how I'm going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. If you listen to this episode, cancel everything out that I just said.
So
my emotions was running high. Look, hold on. I got the Commanders.
Our Commanders.
And we gotta go love with the Packers.
Okay. Well, so we got one more spot. Because we got Commanders.
And then we got to go the Rams based upon whether or not.
So no Vikings.
No Vikings. No.
They are. JJ McCarthy is the quarterback, and we haven't really seen him because he got hurt in the preseason last year.
Yeah,
it's kind of his rookie year.
Yeah, I seen him in college.
Didn't one of their wide receivers is suspended for a couple of games to start the year? I think that's why they wanted Adam Thielen. It's not Jefferson; it's the other one. Oh man, he played at USC. His name is Jordan Addison.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's suspended for the first 3 games of the season or something like that. So that's why they were so hot for Adam Thielen. But yeah, it's JJ McCarthy. We don't know enough. So I'm okay with that. So you got Eagles, 49ers, Detroit, Tampa, Commander. Oh, wait, what about us?
I already said what we was.
We're going to win the division? So you think Tampa's going to miss the playoffs?
It's either going to be we gonna win the division.
I'm glad I picked a pencil instead of a pen because it's crazy. So
look,
Eagles.
We got the Eagles, Niners, Lions,
Panthers,
and
then Commanders, Packers, Rams.
Yes.
Who is your 1 seed? Eagles.
Yes.
Yeah. 2 seed. I'm looking at
Detroit.
Yeah. 3 seed. 49ers.
Niners.
And then we would be the 4. Commanders, Packers, Rams. Who do you think is going to be the top wild card? The Rams, man, it's just so questions about quarterback. I think it is Commanders. So that's 5. I think the Packers should be 6. The Rams sneak in at 7.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. Okay. AFC East. Buffalo's won this division the past 4 years.
Buffalo. We're gonna go Buffalo, Baltimore, Kansas City.
That's that parlay we saw the other day.
AFC
North, Baltimore. Hold on. AFC North. You don't think Aaron Rodgers?
Nope.
Pittsburgh?
Nope.
Mike Tomlin? Ain't buying it.
Nope.
I wonder how many games Aaron Rodgers is going to play. Because this ain't normal. It ain't normal to be 41 playing quarterback in the NFL.
He'll play the whole season. He'll play the whole season.
I mean, Pittsburgh will help him out. If he does what Mike Tomlin wants him to do, you don't need to throw it 45.
They're gonna have some guys.
Yeah, hand the ball off. Do your thing. But we'll come back to the wild card's gonna be fun in AFC because it is loaded. AFC West. This is a little easier. AFC West, Kansas City. We ain't falling for it. We ain't falling for the okie doke. And then AFC South. AFC South.
Now the AFC West that's gonna be one of them ones to watch.
I think you get a couple wild cards out of there. Denver is on the up because they got that defense too, and Bo Nix showed out last year. And then you got the Chargers, Jim Harbaugh.
The Raiders ain't too far off either with Geno.
Look, Raiders got offense. The Raiders got a little offense on them. People don't. They signed them. They got
Ginty.
They signed Amari Cooper yesterday
on
a 1-year deal. So they got Ginty in the backfield. They still have they still have Devontae Adams? No, he's gone.
Nah, he's with the
there's another receiver they have.
Rams.
Yeah, he's with the Rams. So that's Buffalo, Baltimore, Kansas City, AFC South. That's
going to be the Texans.
Yeah, Texans. Yeah. And I think that's all that comes out of that division. And then your 3 wild cards in the AFC.
I think the Bengals, Steelers.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Mate, I think somebody out of the AFC
West.
Chargers. I'm not betting against Jim Harbaugh in year 2 anywhere he is. His track record just speaks for itself. So, all right, let's see these things. Buffalo, Baltimore, Kansas City, Texas. I think this is Baltimore. Baltimore has to do this year. I think you got to do it this year. You know, it's funny. I was listening on the radio when I was coming back from dropping off my kid from school today. Everyone talks about Saquon Barkley and having the 2,000-yard season last year. People have completely and totally forgotten Derrick Henry ran for 1,900 yards last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even realize that until I heard. I was like, oh, yeah, he did. And he's sharing a backfield with one of the top running quarterbacks in the league, and he ran for 1,900 yards. They kind of need to do this now. I want to give them the 1 seed. Are you fine with giving Baltimore the 1?
Yeah, and give them the 1. Lamar Jackson for the MVP.
Should be a third one. Be a third one before he's 30. Is that right? Or he's close to it. Okay, so Baltimore 1, Buffalo or Kansas City at 2-3. I think Kansas City is going to surprise people. They were 15-2 last year, but they had so many close games and people were expecting them to fall off. I think they reloaded. So I think they're actually better.
I think they are reloaded mentally.
Yeah. They kind of needed to. I ain't betting against them. Shout out to
you bet not.
Shout out to our
unless
friends,
they have to play the Eagles again.
Yeah, they don't want to see them. Shout out to Travis Kelce and our friend Taylor Swift for getting engaged earlier this week.
Yeah, man.
All I saw on social media yesterday, like as if everyone's getting invited to the wedding or something.
Yeah, man. Travis, man, don't be fake, man. I saw you at the Hardest Yard Golf Tournament for Greg down in Kiawah, man. Don't be fake, man. Make sure you send me an invite.
Yeah, for real. Next to go to that, he can report live back for us. We got Baltimore 1, I think Kansas City 2, Buffalo 3. No. Let me switch that because I think Kansas City's got a tougher division. I think the AFC West is much tougher.
Kansas City got to play the Chargers, the Broncos, and possibly the Raiders. They playing them. I'm not saying that they gonna play them, but when I say they're gonna show up and have to beat somebody, they're gonna have to show up and beat somebody.
Because last year they didn't have to play the Raiders, but one time, really, the last one they were like, all right, y'all going to take that. We getting ready for the playoffs. So
yeah.
And then the Texans will be the 4 seed. Who's your top wild card? Bengals, Steelers, Chargers. I'm leaning at Chargers.
I'm going Chargers.
That makes sense with us putting Kansas City at 3. So Chargers 5, Bengals, Steelers. I'd say actually, I don't trust Cincinnati. I don't know if their defense is good enough to. They gave all this, and Mike
got Tomlin, a lot of money on that other side, huh?
Yeah, Mike Tomlin. They did sign Trey Hendrickson this week, and we didn't mention that. We didn't mention the Commanders got Terry McLaurin, and so everyone but Micah got their money. Really, the past 8 days. So, you can go either way with the Bengals and the Steelers. I'm fine putting.
Just go ahead and put the Steelers before the Bengals.
Okay, 6 and then 7. All right, so to do this, who do you have in the NFC and AFC championship games out of all this? Because I'm not going to do the bracket thing. It's too complicated with the way the NFL.
AFC championship?
Yeah.
It's going to be the Bills and the Ravens.
1 versus 2. So no Chiefs, and that's something else I heard this morning on the radio that I kind of forgot about. People forget how hard it is for the losing team of the Super Bowl the previous year to get back to the Super Bowl. Like it's only happened 3 times in the 50+ year history of the Super Bowl. And I don't think it's happened since the 70s. So to pick Kansas City to get back to the Super Bowl, this might be the year to not pick them just because they played so many games. That core has played so many games in the past 4 years. They played more games than the NFL. I think Philly's right behind them, but Kansas City is used to playing it deep into January, February, every year. So this might be the year that catches up. I'm cool with that. Baltimore versus Buffalo. And that's both. That's a good one because that's 2 teams that need to break through. Like they're at the end of the championship window. Like somebody.
I'm picking them because I want them to break through.
I like that.
It just so happens to be them. If the Chiefs end up in that situation, you gotta go Chiefs, y'all.
Y'all messed it up. Y'all messed the whole thing up. Y'all let the Chiefs back in this party. NFC championship. Let's not get emotional now. Let's.
Yeah. Let me anchor down.
I saw where we were about to go.
Let me anchor down here.
Hold on.
Let's go the Eagles and the Lions.
Okay, that makes sense. Eagles, Lions. Super Bowl. This kind of turns to which Super Bowl do you want to see?
I would like to see the Buffalo Bills versus the Detroit Lions.
I kind of want to see Baltimore versus Philly.
I mean, either one would be good, but I'm saying
Yeah.
Buffalo and the Lions. You know how
First Super
happy
Bowl for
Detroit and Buffalo would be.
Yeah,
Like either one of them.
That's a bold prediction.
It might actually be
bold.
worse if the Buffalo Bills lose
to Detroit.
No, because they just have this like history, right?
Yeah,
of losing the Super Bowl. So it's like, oh, we here, dang, we lost.
That might hurt worse, like to lose to the Detroit. Detroit's never even been to the Super Bowl, like ever. If they get there and lose to the Detroit Lions, that would be devastating.
That would be.
Let's write it in. So let's do Buffalo, Detroit. Is that where we landed on? That's a wild. See what happens when we do this? Like, how do we get the Buffalo versus Detroit Super Bowl? But it makes sense.
It makes sense. But let's see. If I had to be a betting man, if we doing this for bets, because people, if y'all want a bet answer, it's gonna be Baltimore Ravens versus the Philadelphia Eagles.
Who's Baltimore Philly? I was about to say, who has the best odds on FanDuel right now to make the Super Bowl? Before we get out of here, I'm just curious. Right now, Super Bowl odds, the Buffalo Bills are the early favorites to win the Super Bowl at plus 700 on FanDuel. Philadelphia is also at plus 700. Oh, wait, no, this changed. It's Baltimore now. Baltimore and Philly. Is that what we said? No, we said Buffalo, Detroit. But we got them. That's a possibility. So Baltimore and Philly are both at plus 700, followed by the Bills at plus 750. Kansas City's at plus 850. Detroit's at plus 1100.
Yeah, we said Buffalo and Detroit at first, but then we said Baltimore and Philly if we betting people.
And that's the top two that they've got. Are we switching this to Baltimore and Philly?
Yeah, we're switching to Baltimore and Philly.
All right, Baltimore, Philly. So there you have it. So we got Baltimore taking on Philly in Super Bowl 60. Yeah, Super Bowl 60. Man, okay. And again, you can go to FanDuel Sportsbook and place those bets. They've got them sitting here right now. Again, it's switched over to Baltimore. It was Buffalo at plus 700 just like a couple of days ago, and it's been switched over. So go ahead and get in there, join that, and handle your business. We're going to get out of here. Next week, we'll preview Carolina versus Jacksonville week 1. We may have a special guest with us helping us preview that, courtesy of Believe. But we should be on about midweek next week, and then we'll have announcements in terms of what we're planning on doing for the season. A little something new for Believe in Panther fans, so you'll be able to enjoy us throughout the week. So, Stu, you have a take of the week or anything before we get out of here? You good to go?
Nah, man. You know, I'm excited that we are in full gear now. You know, for all the listeners, be on alert and for the movement of where we will be as far as opportunities to listen. So just be alert. And man, Michael Parsons.
Pay that man his money.
Pay that man his money.
Pay that man his money. Like, what are you doing,
Jerry Jones is different, man. He's a different cat.
He is. He's 80-something. Or no, I think I looked, he's 70-something. No, I think he is 80-something. Yeah, he been here a while. Yeah, he's been on this earth for a long time. Like
he's been out here messing up Dallas Cowboys legacy.
So maybe by the time we get back next week, it'll be actually the beginning of week 1. Maybe Michael Parsons will be signed. However, the Cowboys play on Thursday night to open the season. I do not see Michael Parsons playing in that game. It reminds me of when the Jets, when Darrelle Revis held out and then the Jets finally signed him. He came back and played that opening night game. What happened? He pulled a hamstring because he hadn't practiced all summer or whatever because he was held out. So please don't do this to Michael Parsons. The dude's had like 84 sacks in like his first 4 years of playing football in the NFL. Take care of him. He's one of the best players in the league. Jerry Jones. We're going to go and get out of here. Panther fans, rejoice. Football is back. Enjoy the college football stuff this weekend, and we will see you next weekend and get you ready for the NFL season, week 1, Panthers versus Jaguars. So for Jonathan Stewart, this is Desmond Johnson. You've been watching and listening to the Believe in Panthers podcast brought to you by Believe and FanDuel. Keep pounding.